Hello everybody, my name is Damon with Headstrong Hats, and in this video I want to go over the template that I have for sale in my Etsy shop, Headstrong Hats, and just kind of give you guys a brief overview of how the template is to be put together in case you have any questions. There are special instructions in the files, but if you're like me and need to see things in a visual way, I'm going to provide that for you now. We're going to start with the crown part of the template. The brim part can come later. I'm not worried. That's kind of self-explanatory. It's not hard. Anybody can cut out a circle. But for the template, if you chose to download the quadrant version, you can print out all four, or you can print out just the one and kind of move it around. But I find it easier to print out all four. Or if you locate the SVG cut file, I do have the two hemispheres where they can be taped together, and you can just make the whole template like this. And aside from printing it on regular copy paper, you'll probably have better luck and transferability if you choose to print it on something a little bit more heavier like a cardstock or poster board. So with that being said, if you've got your template ready to go in whichever format you have, I would recommend taping it down onto the beer box, and then that way it won't move around while you're trying to trace around the lines. Also, we have the four quadrants for the Cowboy brim. It should look like this when you get everything put together. Another little thing real quick, this is the sun hat template. I don't know how you can see it on there, but there are going to be some lines that are indicated just above and below the middle of the brim. And those are going to be cut lines, which are indicated in this diagram here. There's a cut line here. You will not go all the way into the middle. You'll come, or all the way to the end. You'll stop probably about 3/8 of an inch before you get to the middle. And then there's like going to be a 3/8 of an inch overlap right here. And what I do is I tuck this portion right here underneath the main part. But I'll show you visually what I mean by that. And the concept behind that is going to allow the brim to shape downwards, giving it that sun hat look. So, if you chose to do your template with poster board, it's going to be a little bit sturdier. I would go ahead and score and pre-bend these segments here, because when you're tracing it on the poster board, the cardboard, you'll have access to see underneath and trace these lines that are kind of in between. On the instructions, I indicate with the gray area on the template as to where you should glue. It's labeled glue opposite side. If you're looking at your template, it says glue opposite side right here. That means you would glue on the outside here. And if you trace your template, it will say glue this side. And that is because this overlaps on the outside here, and then this overlaps on the outside here. Points A and B in the diagram indicate this point right here and this point right here, and all you do is fold it over and match the two, and they will line up with this point, just like that. I would do the one side first, flip it around, then do this side, and then follow up with these. So I'll do that for you now, and then we'll put the brim on top. Now when you're matching points C and D, all you have to do is match it up with that little corner right there. And that takes all the guesswork out of what size the hat will actually be, because the brim is a fixed diameter and should fit directly down on top of this crown, and the adjustment for the sizing of the head can be made with the lower brim, either with the slits that we're going to cut that go around it, or if you're a little bit more advanced, I recommend using some kind of elastic or maybe gluing in some felt to help make the hat a little bit more comfortable if your objective is to make these on another level and not just like a little party hat or entry level. So once your crown is put together like that, set it down on your table and take your index fingers and just press this in right here in the middle. This is a Pepsi box and it's got that grab handle in the middle. But with that line that you score down the middle here, that allows the box to basically have a predetermined bend line. So, and then your crown will take shape and look like this. And then you'll just take these tabs, fold them up. They are going to be the surface area that you're going to use to glue underneath the brim. So off camera, I went ahead and just did this Miller Lite one because the brim that I had pre-cut was also Miller Lite, and I didn't want to match it up with Pepsi. Anyway, if you did that per the pattern, this brim will fit on there like a glove, just perfect. Then the next step you'll do is just run some glue around these tabs. I like to start from the front and line up the predetermined line, either from your template or just maybe drawing a straight line down there. But you can line that point up with that line right there, and that will get you centered on putting the brim directly in the middle of the crown. So that part is pretty straightforward. I have no doubt that you guys would have any issues with that. But as far as the bottom brim goes, this is what I was saying about maybe adding some elastic or something different to the inside of the bottom of the brim. Because when you make these little slits that go around here, that can kind of help adjust for head size. I wear like a 6 3/4, 6 5/8. So I have a particularly smaller diameter head, and some people are upwards of 7, 7.5. So this outer circle right here is approximately, I think it's like 25.5 inches circumference. So it could be a fairly large hat. I mean, if I were to just put this on my head, it would fall down like that. But that's why I say some elastic or something would help compensate for the sizing. All right, so let's jump into the sun hat brim. I kind of want to go over that with you guys real quick, just to make sure that there's no confusion on that. If you have cut your brim and it looks like this, you are doing it correctly. If it's falling apart, you cut too far. Now this is very delicate, so I would recommend doing these this gluing procedure prior to putting it onto the crown. This way you've got a little bit more control of what you're doing. So I have indicated on the pattern that you're just going to glue approximately 3/8 of an inch over an overlap there, and you're going to have just a little bit of extra material that comes extending out from the side. That's not a problem. You can just take your scissors and kind of blend that in as you go. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here and give you an idea of how the hat is going to contour. I'm not going to measure because I can pretty much eyeball what that distance is. It's not that much, but it should be just enough to put a line of glue on and hold those two pieces in place. The hotter your glue is, the longer it's going to take to set, and the longer you may need to hold this in position before you let go, because it will slide and come apart. Take your crown, this, and it just sits on there just like that. And you can see how well it contours. And then you would do the same process for this. You would take the little tabs from the crown and just glue it to the bottom side of your brim. And then you would flip it upside down and take your bottom brim and attach it. Starting from this side, you can lift this up. I would glue that and then glue that side. So I hope that helped you guys kind of get an idea as to what I'm trying to relay, the information I'm trying to give you. And keep in mind that this is just the basic skeleton of what this little niche of mine has turned into. I use this template and these dimensions for all my custom hats, the ones where I, you probably see some in the background where I've got them laid out in a certain way where, of course, the labels are more legible and not upside down and more custom. But so if you guys have any questions, please feel free to inbox me or leave a comment down below as well, and I will try to help out the best I can. And as always, I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.